Hello. Hi. I am so happy to be here. I have tried recording this introduction several times and I keep being interrupted by trash trucks. I accidentally just took a photo instead of starting to record a video. So, things are happening here, but it's okay because it's inevitable, right? I'm here, it's going to start, blah 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 blah. So anyway, hi, welcome to Aulani Alchemy with Renahy, the podcast. I i just am so excited. Okay, I have been thinking about this, and I first of all, I keep putting off, like, I need to start my social media back up. I have lots of things I want to talk about, blah, blah, blah. I want to connect with people, whatever, the whole thing. And I just am feeling like kind of paralyzed, right? Because I feel like everything is so, it feels so big. It feels like I want to connect so deeply and I want to have fun in this space and things like that, to the point where I am overthinking everything. So we are here. I am going to put this out, and I am basically just doing a little, what's this going to be episode today? What are we going to do here? What can you expect? So thank you for being with me. I am so, 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 so excited. So I am Renahy. I am a mother. I have three boys um, that are pretty much a year, 3 and 5. And my husband and I have been together for 10 years, and we are it's just the best. I just have this really beautiful life that has changed completely in the last like couple of months, but definitely in the last year. So briefly, I will just let you know kind of what's happened, um, what the impetus of this is, and how I even got here, essentially. And I'll go into a more in-depth one in a different episode or whatever. But yes, so basically in January 2024, I started this like spiritual, I don't even, awakening, I guess. My sister sent me some energy activations from Gaia, and which I will link because they're so cool. And I started seeing things with my eyes closed. I started seeing lights, and then that would just kind of appear like little orbs and things, and like washes of light. And then these washes of light would end up turning into animals, and they would show me like the same animal over and over again. I was like, what is going on? I started seeing like flashes of things. It was just so crazy. And before all of this started, I started getting Akashic Records readings, which the Akashic Records are an energetic library of all that is, was, and will be. And I say library in quotes because it's kind of just a way for our human minds to comprehend what it is. It's not a physical place that you can go, but it is an energetic place. It's a frequency. So if you raise your frequency, you can enter your records and you can pull information. You can be given guidance, whatever, things like that, from your team of light, from your guides, from your higher self. And it's very healing because it's all of your lifetimes since your soul decided to split off from source, God, consciousness, whatever. And so if you're noticing patterns, or something, you just feel stuck in a certain area, you don't know why, you're doing all the work, blah blah blah, you can go into your records, ask about it, and see perhaps it's a couple of lifetimes that you've experienced the same thing. There's something that you need to learn, and you can clear it. And being aware of it really is the biggest step, and helping us move past these energies that kind of have us stuck and stagnant. And so it's an incredible healing tool. And also, the way that I enjoy using it is with creativity. I would use it to write my books. Before I even knew what the records were, I apparently was tapping into the records to write my books, which is very common that we can tap into it unconsciously. Um, when we're kind of in a state like a flow state, right? Because it is a higher frequency. So when you're in that flow state, you're able to touch that other dimension, right? And so anyway, I was getting these Akashic Records readings from this magical woman, Marguerite and Solia, and getting incredible guidance around just like my soul's mission and what am I here to do, and other things too, like what's going on with my kids' sleep, whatever. How can I best show up for my kids? What do I need to know about my family? Things like that, all types of stuff. And then I started having this awakening and seeing things. So then all of my readings, I started asking about this stuff like, is what I'm seeing real? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized doing more research into the records, I'm like, maybe I can start reading them now. I'm like seeing stuff. Maybe that's what it takes, which it's not what it takes, by the way, at all. That is not what it takes at all. So anyway, I start reading the records for myself and I'm I need to breathe. I'm like so excited. I'm like holding my breath. Okay. So anyway, I was so excited to start reading them for myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm getting information. I started doing it with automatic writing, which is not surprising because I am a writer. But that's how I was able to kind of tap in and I would start to channel, that blew my mind. Like, I can channel? What is going on? Which is just mind blowing. And so that it just changed my life. So then I'm working with all these different things. I start looking at tarot decks. I start looking at oracle decks. I start looking at, chakra healing and all these other things. I'm doing all these meditations, like guided meditations, right? Those were much easier for me to do personally because it was easier to like wrangle my mind if I had a task to focus on. So I would do a lot of guided meditations and just see what happens. Like I was just kind of playing around. So then fast forward to the end of 2024 and I start thinking like, man, I would really like to like take this to another level. I was kind of playing around like maybe I could read for friends, maybe I could read for my family. Do you have any questions? I'll just go into your records and ask, kind of thing. Like, nothing formal or anything like that. And it was just like a question or two, maybe three. My sister and I would go back and forth all the time and do stuff like this because she was also having this crazy awakening as well. Um, and so then I was like, right, let's get some training or let's get some more information from a source that I trust. So this woman that had been following for a little bit of time, I resonate with her posts all the time. Her name's Emily the Mystic. She's amazing, amazing. And so I took her course. I signed up for her Akashic Records certification. And it was like kind of on a whim. I didn't think that there was time for me to do this. I remember one day being in the car and I just was like, just ask if, my husband, if we think we can even make this happen. And I didn't even end up asking that. I just said, yeah, Emily has a certification. I think I'm thinking about maybe doing it next year. And he was like, is that when it is? And I was like, well, she has one coming up in a couple months, but I just wasn't sure because the baby was like young. And he was like, just do it. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Okay, I'll just do it. Thank you so much. Whatever. Cause it's like a team effort to, do things that we want to do. So it was really incredible. And so um I took the class. Incredible. Okay. Loved it so much. 10 out of 10 recommend. And halfway through, I got this business download, and that's where Aulani Alchemy came in. I didn't get the name at first. I got the basic premise of, 6 sessions, a one-on-one 3-month container, and to bring a project off the ground, which, now is more like your vision. What is your vision? What do you want to bring to life? Because it's not just projects or businesses, which is what was given to me at the beginning, because that was like kind of easy to package for me, right? I can understand that and not feel so intimidated by actually what was going to end up coming through, which is a lot of my clients come to me because they feel like they've lost touch with their voice, with their self-confidence, with things like that that feel really big or feel more what is the word? Mm, it just feels a lot different than a business, right? Someone wants to bring a business or a book into the world. It's like, okay, sure, there's a little bit of emotional separation there, I feel like. And so it came through as that for me. But anyway, ended up morphing into this other thing where we do all of the things. And so uh yeah, and I'm like, okay, I love this, and it's now what I do, and I'm obsessed with it. And so I'm like, you know what, the other day I thought I would like to start a podcast and talk to people about this stuff. I want the magic to be spread around, you know? I mean, it's just so wild how much has happened for me in 1 year doing this kind of stuff. And I just want other people to have access to that, and people that, like, you're here, you're open to it. You're either experiencing it or you're wanting to experience it. And so my hope is that while you're here, you can feel the vibes, you can feel the mana, I was going to say, you can feel it, and it's activating you. I want this to be an activation. And every time you listen, you're getting some part of you activated that perhaps wasn't activated before, so that you're able to do what you're here to do on this earth. And that is my big, beautiful hope for Aulani Alchemy. So, I think that is pretty much it. it's, it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I also I want to do some what is it? Like action items or some like activational type of things every month, just to give you something, you know, to play with, something to play with, because all this whole journey is so playful. And I feel like sometimes we get lost in the oh, you need a sacred space, you need a, which you do, but I would argue that your sacred space doesn't need to be this big fucking thing. Like, you don't need all the candles, you don't even need real candles. You can use electric ones if you really want candles, you know, like you it doesn't need to be this whole altar, this whole situation. Of course it can be, but not all of us can do that at all times. You know, like I can't come in my office and light a candle at night and do this whole thing, because my son could wake up and then I'm blowing out this candle every 5 seconds because he's, you know, like I can't do that kind of thing. And so I recognize that other people may not be able to do that either. And so my view on it is that you learn to create this sacred space, and you can do it wherever you are. It's a state of mind, it's a state of being. And so I want to help you create that sacred space for yourself, however it looks. And I want you to know that it can be so playful, and that a lot of transformation exists in play, right? There's hard work that needs to be done, of course. But in order to alchemize and really integrate what's happening, what you're releasing, and what you're bringing in, to integrate what you're bringing in, I do find that the more playful you get, the quicker it happens. So I I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you on the next one. Bye.